The Human from a Dungeon, Chapter 112. Lord Smith, Adventurer Level NA. Kobold Unknown. My tail wagged happily as I looked at my new bed. It was a cushion with wool blankets on top of it. We had made lots of money from all the trades that we'd been doing, and Gaddy had said that it would be good for more Al if we got better beds. I didn't know who Al was, but Marker had insisted that it was a great idea. I wasn't really sure how a sack of soft stuff could be better than a pile of smell-good leaves, but I couldn't really think of a reason not to order the cushions. We had the coin, and Marker pointed out that it would help the old kobolds with their joint pain. Plus, the wool blankets were included with the purchase, so they didn't even cost us extra coin. Still, I felt like sleeping on something other than smell-good leaves was kind of wrong. My doubts disappeared the moment I laid down, though. The fabric of the blanket was rough enough to scratch my scales just right. The squish felt like laying in a hard pile without the greasiness. It all smelled like flowers instead of lard, which was a little disappointing. It would be up for arguments which smell would be better, I guess. I pulled the blanket over me and laid my head back, prepared for sleep. "Lord Smith, you have done really well," the Lord said to me. "Thanks, my lord. I tried really hard," I beamed, hopping up and down in excitement. "It was really easy, too." "That's just because you is a really smart kobold." The Lord's bony finger reached down and scratched me in my favorite spot, right behind my ear holes. My tail moved back and forth happily. All the other kobolds watched, impressed that I'd done so well. Tomash and Samil gave me some proud smiles. "You're so smart and big and strong and awesome," Yamana said. "I missed you a lot. Would you fertilize my eggs?" "But what about me?" Marker asked. "I want fertilized eggs too." "The Lord Smith is potent enough for both of us," Yamana winked. "I would be honored," I said, "but I don't have enough time to make little ones. I need to help the Lord." "Don't worry, my little dear Smith," the Lord said. "I am returned now. You don't have to be the Lord anymore. You can do whatever you want now, and nobody will bother you with decisions no more." "Really?" I asked, excited about being able to play again. "Really. I'm back for good now, and I won't leave no more. Now go fertilize those eggs." "We want our eggs fertilized too," more kobolds shouted. "It's going to be a busy day," I laughed. Everyone laughed with me, and it felt really good. Everything was better than I could ever have hoped. I was so happy. Yamana and Marker grabbed my hands and began leading me away. "Wake up, my lord," Yamana said with a suspiciously deep voice. "What?" I asked. "Sorry, my lord, but you need to get up." My eyes snapped open, and I looked around the room for Yamana. Instead, I saw Gar staring down at me. My gigantic guard was panting a little, as if he'd run a long way. Then I remembered that Yamana was dead, and I didn't like Marker that way. I had been dreaming. "What's going on?" I asked, wiping the drool and stuff from my face. "The Lord is back." "But what?" I froze. "The Lord is back. He's at the store in the city." I leapt off the cushion and almost tripped over the blanket. I hissed at it as I pulled it off my legs. Without saying another word, I started to run as fast as I could through the dungeon. Gar kept pace with me, which was really easy for the buckerbolt to do. Long legs means faster runners, but even orcs can't run as fast as buckerbolts can. We ran to the tunnel, through the tunnel, and into the mansion that we turned into a store. The magical lights that we got from the elves kind of hurt my eyes, but I still looked around frantically. Then I saw him, the Lord, standing in our store, looking at our goods. I wanted to call to him, but my throat wouldn't open. Instead, I ran over and knelt, skidding on the polished wooden floor a little. "Ah, Smith," he said with a heavy tone. "I see that you've done quite well in my absence. Far better than I had expected, certainly." "Thank you, my lord," I said. "Samuel was telling me that a secret tunnel to this manor was discovered in the dungeon." "Yes, my lord. Some elf adventurers came, and we welcomed them like you told us to. One of them accidentally helped Hinthry discover the entrance. You said that you wanted trade relations with the town, so I decided the opening the store would be better than waiting for the caravan." "And the municipal government was fine with us?" "I don't know, my lord, but the mayor helped us with the forms and buying the manor. We have enough coin to pay off the mortgage, but Tomash says that we should save some coin to buy more goods to sell from the elves when their caravan comes back." "You're trading with elves as well? From where?" "Yes, my lord. The elf adventurers introduced us to some merchants from their kingdom. To the south of the dungeon. We buy stuff from them, then sell the stuffs to the town in the store. Oh, and we let merchants open stalls in here too. They pay us rent. Is it just me, or is his speech improved? Somebody else asked. I looked up and saw a familiar pinkish face. The weird, shitty guy who helped kill the sucker had a curious look at his face. Then I noticed that the orcs he was with for the fight were also with him. The only people missing from when he saved the Lord were the wasted warriors. I've been taking lessons, I exclaimed. More like the people in the city kept correcting you, Samil said quietly. I glared at my impudent underling. I listened to the corrections and have also been asking about big words, I argued. Regardless of how the learning is being done, progress is indeed being made. The Lord said, I chose my proxy well. Really? I asked in amazement. Yes. I am proud of you, Smith. I felt a wetness on my face and quickly tried to wipe away the tears that had started coming from my eyes. My mama used to tell me that big kobolds don't cry, but I couldn't help it. My good dream was coming true. Except Yamana was still dead, and there wasn't any talk about egg fertilizing. Not that there was really anyone that wanted to fertilize with except for Yamana. I almost laughed through my tears once I realized the thoughts I was thinking. The Lord told me, in his infinite wisdom, that I was worthy of something like pride, and here I was thinking about fertilizing eggs. The Lord noticed my tears and nodded softly. Everyone else went quiet. It was hard to tell if they were concerned or they understood. Samil's chin was jumping up and down like he was trying not to cry too. Maybe my mama was wrong and meant to say kobolds don't cry. Are you okay? The Humy guy asked. Yeah, I managed out to say. I'm just so glad. I worked really, really hard. We all did. And it was scary. I didn't know what to do. Tamash didn't really know either. And I was so scared that we were doing wrong stuff or stuff wrong. The Lord is so kind, and he wants the best for us, but he left it to me to decide what was best for us, and I was so worried that I wasn't ready for it. Was he being too kind in choosing me? Or was he choosing me by default because I was the only one who survived the sucker attack? I didn't know, and I didn't like questioning the Lord, and I really, really missed the Lord too. I missed you too, Smith, all of you. Also, you mean default. The Lord laughed and bumped my nose with his bony finger. Oh yeah, default, not default, I chuckled. It's just, this is like the best dream come true right after I awaked. I'm not supposed to be the leader, but I did a good job, and now the Lord's back, so I can go back to being a normal kobold. The Lord's jaw opened slightly, which was an expression I'd only seen when the younglings would ask him questions about fertilizing eggs. He would usually say something about how certain knowledge should come from a certain point in maturities, and that they should ask their parents if they're ready for it or not. If they pestered him about it, he would get impatient and threaten to tell their mamas on them. But I didn't ask him about how to fertilize eggs. I already know how to do it. It's easy. So why would he be making that face? Well, Smith, the Lord scratched his neck bones. I'm not, entirely back. You're not back? I asked, confused. No. But you're standing here. Correct. So you're back, but you're not back. Yes. I'm confused, my lord. I know, the Lord sighed. My time away from the dungeon is not quite finished, but I wanted to visit and see how things were going. A visit? I asked, tilting my head in confusion. Yes. I wanted to check in and, depending on how things were going, either reassure you or correct you. I have other matters to attend to that require my presence elsewhere. Oh, so I'm not done being the Lord? No, not quite yet. Soon? Perhaps, the Lord rubbed his jawbone. Though there is a Maybe it's plenty, my lord, I bowed. I can be a strong kobold, as long as I know I don't have to be that forever. The Lord scratched my head and laughed again. I've seen many good leaders and many bad leaders, Smith, he said. Whether they be kobolds, elves, dwarves, gnomes, or orcs, all good leaders share similar qualities. Good leaders take the time to give things a second thought when they can afford to. They'd hold themselves accountable, because there is no one who doubts them more than they doubt themselves. But above all, they don't allow those doubts to stop them from doing what needs to be done. I firmly believe Were I to ask any of the kobolds or buckabolds that are under your guidance, they would all agree that it's an apt description of you." A murmur of agreement came from the kobolds and buckabolds who were watching. I looked at them in disbelief and saw Samil nodding really hard. Then the Lord said something that shocked me to my core. "In many ways, you're a better leader than I am." This led to some confusing stuff in my head. The words almost felt good to hear. But I was angry at the Lord for being criticality of the Lord. But being angry at the Lord wasn't right to do. So I decided to be angry at the words instead. "Absorbingly not, my lord," I argued. "I think you mean absolutely." "Doesn't matter, sire," I hissed angrily. "You has the Lord since way before I was born. You are the only leader I has ever had. You're super strong, you are super smart, but you still look after us. Even kobolds that are new know that you are gooder than the chiefs they ever could be. Because you are more than we could ever hope to be, but you hope for us. You saw my great-great-great-great-great-grandparents struggling, and not only helped them, but you helped all of their kids, too. How could you not be the best leader ever?" The other kobolds cheered at my words, demonstrating their loyalties for the Lord. I nodded approvingly at them. "All of those things that you said about me applies to you too, my lord." "No," the Lord laughed. "I definitely don't doubt myself nearly enough." "You're doing it right now, my lord," I interrupted. "Everything you said makes me a good leader is stuff that I learned from watching you when I was a hatchling. Whenever I has to lead, I just copy how I've seen you do it." "He's a very good copier," Gar agreed with a chuckle. "Samith does well as your proxy, my lord. But you are our lord because you're wise enough to have seen his potential," Samil added. "Even if he were to remain our leader for the rest of his days, he could never reach the level of experience in a role that you have. We all respect the Lord, and we'll live and die at his word, but only because that word is reflective of those who would come from you, our true Lord." The orcs that were friends with the Lord looked at him with uncomfortable expressions. The pink guy just kind of nodded silently, but the Lord stared at us, seemingly at a loss for words. "You are the Lord," I said. "You will always be our Lord, even when you don't want to. Everything we have, everything we are, it's all thanks to you. I'll be the Lord for you. We will make friends with all the townfolk for you. We'll protect our home for you. We'll better ourselves for you." I could feel an excitement in the air, building with each word. I rose to my feet proudly. I looked our Lord in the face and took a deep breath. "Everything we do," I shouted, raising my fist, "we do it for the Lord," the others shouted back. The Lord looked around at each of us. The Humy and bigger orc looked a little nervous, but the bald orc chuckled a little. He took a step closer to the Lord. "Looks like you have accidentally made a cult," he said. "A kobold cult." "Not a cult," I shook my head. "The Lord not Slathras. The Lord cares. Slathras doesn't." "Slathras? The being that kobolds worship as their creator," the Lord said absent-mindedly. "Slathras mocked at us as prank on the weirdos," I explained. "Made it so that we eated them. Then they fought us, trying to kill us all. Before they could, some mages rescued us. Then mages made buckabolds and killed each other. Now Slathras ignores us. But there are some slobberheads who think that if they cry loud enough, Slathras will come back and make life better." "Their minds are mush," Gar added. "Slathras is a cruel god thing. Definitely not something that you want paying attention to you." "Ah, are we talking about the cult of Slathras?" Tomash asked as he entered the room. "Oh, many respectful greetings, my lord. Apologies for my delay and lack of decorum, but these knees grow sour with age." "Hello, Tomash," Lord nodded. "Don't worry about prostration. Your presence is enough." "Thank you, my lord. Now, what is this about the cult of Slathras?" "We's telling the orc about how mean Slathras is," I exclaimed. "Ah," Tomash nodded slowly. "With respect, my lord, mean is not nearly a harsh enough word. Slathras is the epitome of cruelty. I suspect that being a god is boring, and if that's the case, Slathras must find amusement in suffering. Legend has it that the first batch of kobolds he created could only eat wilder. Naturally, they starved to death." "Oh, so that's who you meant by weirdos," York chuckled at me. "So I take it that the next batch could eat regular meat?" "Yes. but only living flesh, and our ancestors desperately craved the living flesh of their fair folk. Tomash shook his head in disgust. Most wilder automatically regenerate their flesh, so long as you don't use iron to carve them, you see. It led to much suffering, and the lasting grudge between our peoples. Do you still need to eat living flesh? The Yumi asked. No. Powerful mages began fighting each other, and eventually sought help from the Wilder. The Wilder asked them to be rid of us in exchange for favors. Some of the mages saw our value as foot soldiers, and captured us instead of eradicating us. Several generations of experimentation later, and we can eat meat just as you can. And my kind exists, Gar said. I see. Do you know anything about these experiments? Baldy asked. No, Tomash chuckled darkly. Why? Looking to repeat them? Your Calder is far more honorable than that, the Lord said. If one such as he were to wish to experiment, it would be for your benefit. Yes, my lord. My apologies. It was in jest and I meant no offense. Good. The Lord glanced at Yoke, who smiled. Now, we're on a pretty tight schedule, so I would appreciate being brought up to speed on what's been happening around here. A tour wouldn't go amiss either. Yes, I said, my tail moving back and forth with excitement. I shows you all the stuffs we has, my lord. Tomash and I took the Lord and his friends around the store, showing him our stuff and telling him how we got it. He was a little shocked about how much stuff the elves were willing to sell us, and warned us to use caution when doing international trades. Tomash pointed out that we had been surprised by the ban on our mushrooms, and so we had employees that double-checked with city authorities when we weren't sure if something was legal to buy or sell. I beamed when Tomash noted that it had been my idea. We continued our tour, showing the Lord our vendor shops. We explained that we let merchants rent the rooms as well as put up sign. This kept them off the streets, gave them a safe place to store their goods, and brought more people to our store. It had been the mayor's idea, who said it might be a good way to clear up some of the walkways. Tomash explained that we also allowed the merchants to live in their rooms if they paid extra, but hardly anyone had taken us up on that. Our tour carefully avoided the ones it did, though, because we didn't want to wake them up. Then we got to the good part. One of the bestest things about the manor was the feature that had survived all of the bad weather and rot that had taken hold when nobody lived there. Right next to the tunnel that had led to the dungeon was a tunnel that led into a giant metal room with a very heavy door. The mayor had given us the key once the mortgage was approved, and even though there wasn't anything cool in it, we figured that it was a good place to store coins. My heart raced as I watched the Lord's jaw drop. Stacks of coins as tall as a buckle bolts lined the back walls. Paintings, jewelry, statues, ancient tomes, and various other valuables were neatly sorted on the sides. The orcs and the Huey were also impressed, but I cared a lot less about their thoughts. The Lord congratulated us on our success, and it made me really, really happy. Then we had nothing left to show him, and he had to go. It was surprising how quickly the happy turned to sad, but I decided that I would cherish the good stuff instead of dwelling on the sad stuff. We knelt before the Lord as he bid us his farewells. Then the Lord and his companions left us with the promise that he would return one day. We all hoped that day would be soon. End of story. I'd greatly like to thank our Tier 5 channel members, Casper Arnholtz, Jon Creighton, Manatharia, 050, Dragzoon W.R.E, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.